Something just shifted in Cleveland. After weeks of frustration and questions piling up, fans finally saw a glimpse of what this team could truly become. A dominant performance that raised eyebrows, changed the conversation, and maybe even rewrote the trajectory of the season. But behind the win, deeper storylines are brewing, ones that could define the future of this franchise sooner than anyone expected. But before I tell you everything, make sure you click the like button and subscribe to always stay well informed. The Cleveland Browns finally delivered the kind of performance fans have been desperate to see all season. After a brutal 1-5 start, they didn't just win in Week 7, they dominated. A 31-6 blowout victory over the Miami Dolphins sent a clear message: this team still has fight left, and maybe, just maybe, they're starting to figure it out. The star of the show? None other than Myles Garrett, who didn't just lead the defense, he set the tone for the entire locker room. Garrett finished with 2 tackles and a sack, but more than the stats, it was the energy and leadership he brought that made all the difference. It's nice. We haven't had that all year. That's exactly what we want, and we gotta continue to strive for that, Garrett said after the game. He wasn't satisfied with just a single win. He wants this feeling to become an addiction. You could sense that this wasn't just about a good Sunday. Garrett is trying to shift the culture. He wants wins to be the new standard, and it's that mindset the Browns have been missing. Garrett's message wasn't just for the fans, it was for his teammates. It's gotta be an obsession to win and win like this, he continued. This wasn't a fluke. The defense forced 4 turnovers, they looked disciplined, and they played complementary football across all 3 phases. Garrett's vision is clear. Use the pain of losing as fuel to flip the narrative. And right now, the Browns need to buy into that vision if they want to salvage this season. But Garrett wasn't the only story. Behind the scenes, rookie quarterback Shedeur Sanders continues to turn heads, even though he hasn't taken a snap in a regular season game yet. It might sound odd to bring up a backup quarterback after a big win, but Shedeur has become one of the most talked about figures in Cleveland. According to insider Mary Kay Cabot, Sanders is impressing everyone in the organization with his quick learning and command of the offense. He's executing pre-snap reads with the confidence of a veteran, and his work ethic is becoming legendary around the facility. Just ask Myles Garrett, who noted that Sanders is often already in Kevin Stefanski's office early in the morning. Tight end David Njoku called Sanders an exceptional athlete, an exceptional quarterback. It's no wonder fans are starting to ask the obvious question: when will Shedeur get his shot? Right now, Dillon Gabriel holds the starting job, and to be fair, he played well enough to keep it, at least for now. Against Miami, he wasn't flashy, but he was efficient. In pouring rain and heavy winds, he completed 72% of his passes for 116 yards. He didn't throw any touchdowns, but more importantly, he didn't turn the ball over. That's been the key to his game: protect the football, stay composed, and let the run game lead the way. Gabriel had some fortunate moments. An ugly throw that bounced off a defender's hands and into Jerry Jeudy's arms could have been a pick, but he did what was asked. Still, there's a clear ceiling to this version of the Browns' offense. They ran the ball 33 times and only dropped back 20. That works in bad weather against a bad defense like Miami's, but it's not a sustainable model against playoff-caliber teams. Gabriel has now attempted just 52 passes over 2 games, including only 18 against the Dolphins. At some point, Stefanski will need to open things up, and when that happens, we'll really see what Gabriel's made of. For now, Stefanski deserves credit for dialing up a game plan that fit the circumstances. Coming off an embarrassing loss to the Steelers, he reportedly lit into the offense in Monday's meetings. Right guard Joel Bitonio confirmed it, saying he was intense and laid out expectations, especially us on offense. Stefanski himself joked that the Philly comes out every once in a while. Raised in Philadelphia, he knows when to let the fire out, and clearly, the team responded. They surpassed 18 points for the first time since last season. Quentin Judkins led the charge on the ground with 3 touchdowns, and the offensive line finally showed up in a big way. The Browns were the more disciplined, more physical team, a rare sentence this year. Stefanski trusted the run game even when it wasn't immediately working, and that persistence paid off. They played clean, controlled football. And that's what allowed Gabriel to play within himself and still walk away with his first career win. After the game, Gabriel kept it measured. I don't want you to look at my expression and think I'm not excited. I am. But it's important to build sustainability as well, he said. That's the right mindset. He's not celebrating one win like it's a Super Bowl. He's looking ahead, trying to stack good games and develop consistency. He knows this team isn't fixed overnight. And that brings us right back to Shedeur Sanders. Gabriel might have bought himself more time with this win, but the clock is ticking. The Browns are 2-5, and there's no guarantee that Gabriel can carry this offense when the run game sputters or the defense has an off day. At some point, the Browns will need to evaluate the future, and that future likely includes Sanders under center. With his relentless preparation, athletic ability, and growing respect in the locker room, Sanders isn't just waiting, he's preparing to take over. Now, here's the question for Browns fans. If the team struggles again in the coming weeks, do you want to see Shedeur Sanders get the call? Let me know what you think. And while that debate continues to grow, one thing is clear, this Browns team is on the edge of a turning point. The performance against Miami gave us a rare glimpse of what this squad can be when everything clicks. A ferocious defense led by a motivated Myles Garrett, a bruising run game with Quentin Judkins, and a young quarterback in Dillon Gabriel who, despite limitations, is making the most of his opportunity. But that's exactly where the uncertainty lies. Can this version of the Browns show up consistently? Kevin Stefanski seems to believe it's possible. His shift in tone, the intensity in meetings, the tighter accountability was a calculated move. This wasn't desperation. It was leadership. And it paid off. But the challenge ahead isn't about bouncing back from one ugly loss, it's about proving this win wasn't a fluke. The margin for error is razor thin in the AFC, and the Browns are still sitting at just 2-5. The road ahead includes tougher opponents, more hostile environments, and greater pressure. And that's when your quarterback matters most. Gabriel's calm presence and decision-making have earned him respect, but there's a difference between managing a game and commanding it. If the Browns want to make a push, even a small one, they'll need more from the quarterback position. That's why so many eyes are locked on Shedeur Sanders. He hasn't played it down, but in a season that's already featured plenty of disappointment, fans are clinging to what could be. And right now, Sanders represents that potential. The Browns front office seems aligned with that future. According to reports, they're not just high on Sanders, they're confident. Confident he'll be ready when called upon. Confident he can take control when the time comes. And if things continue to stall under Gabriel, that time might be sooner rather than later. So as the Browns prepare for Week 8 and a trip to Foxborough to take on the Patriots, this team is walking a fine line. They have the pieces. They showed what's possible. But if they stumble again, the calls for a quarterback change will only grow louder. Subscribe for more Browns updates like this one, hit that like button, and click on the video that's on your screen right now. Go Browns!